The Americans are responsible for 9/11.
You know CIA coming after you.
Yeah, I don't think I'm there involved in it.
So we're back for another episode of Unusual Suspects. We've got another guest with us. Bummy, what's going on?
What's good?
We've got the usual man, Shaun, Corey, Ryan. Today we are discussing Brexit and if we actually give a damn about it and how it affects us and how we think it's going to affect us going forward.
Brexit means Brexit. Brexit means Brexit.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
It means,
and that means
these nice immigrants. I'm joking. I'm joking. To be honest with you, man.
and just get downhill.
Nah, it's staying.
Nah.
Man,
I don't know, man.
Downhill.
I feel like, yeah, you see Brexit, like, and all that stuff. It's like a game, and we're not really part of the game. We just suffer the consequences or the whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's like a game that these people above play, and like it means that they can like make money or whatever, and then we just suffer from it. So it's almost as if that's probably why we don't really know about it, because it's not really for us, if you know what I mean.
So did you vote?
Yeah.
What did you vote for?
Leave. I mean, remain. Sorry. Wait, why you? What's like? If I voted leave, what's the problem?
No.
But I voted remain. Like, I couldn't even remember.
So you voted remain?
I voted remain.
What are your reasons for voting remain?
Because I feel like everything I was seeing for the Leave campaign was
Predicated on
racism and like, yeah, a lot of racism and stuff like that. Whereas I feel like, and also like even simple things like remain means that we're able to like travel freely in the EU. So for me, that's a personal benefit. So like, I don't know why I would vote.
Are we not going to be able to travel freely?
I don't think so.
Probably not.
I don't know.
You'd have to make individual arrangements with countries, basically.
Yeah. So, like for example, now being in the EU, because we've got NHS, if we get injured in France, for example,
exactly. We're all right.
we're okay
as well.
But we come out of the EU,
Game.
But so
you're paying
You
money
break your
like
leg
a
in
normal
France.
citizen now.
Better pay some euros, bro.
if I got that Euro health card thing,
I got that EHIC.
Yeah, you're not in the Euro anymore, though.
but so I don't
No,
get
bro,
it.
we're not
I
in-
can't even pull it out and be
Back of your forehead.
Especially once it expires.
So how does everyone feel about it? Because obviously we voted. I have my own opinions on voting anyway, and I don't think it actually makes a difference.
Yeah, that's just retarded, though. I've never agreed with you with that.
That is such a bad like.
I don't understand
That
that.
is such a bad like mentality. Like that's why like
Dumb.
I feel like a lot of these things
The
happen
mentality
because
of
people
not,
don't vote.
of not voting.
No, but he did vote though. But he's just
What
saying
happened?
that he has
I
that.
didn't vote.
You didn't.
Yeah, no, I've had these discussions.
Nah, that's
with
silly.
him.
His
He doesn't
because you
vote.
might have in this case.
Because think about how it goes is you don't vote, then you get bad laws, and then you're saying, oh well, I shouldn't vote because nothing goes my way anyway.
Okay,
It's just
but
a cycle.
wait.
did we not stay in by one vote? Was it one vote that flipping?
Yeah, his
decided
one
it?
vote didn't
In my
make a
opinion,
difference.
No, but that's a
in
drop
my-
in the water.
in my opinion, the same way they do with Big Brother and X Factor, it's all like already in place beforehand.
But it's just
that's
So
not
now
to
you're
make
going
you
down
think-
that
Yeah, but
fucking rabbit hole, conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
and
this is
all
what he
that-
does.
all
Call it-
that
call
jazz.
it what
The Americans are responsible for 9/11.
it's the Russians. Sorry,
That's what I'm saying.
You know CIA coming after me.
Yeah, I don't think. Listen, I'm there involved in it.
I don't even know this guy.
Nah, but
You bang
I've
us
met
with
him
it.
today.
I've met him.
I actually have American passport. So
Real talk, I feel like the whole voting thing, and yeah, call it conspiracy, call it whatever you want, but I feel like, again, for example, I was working with you during the whole Brexit time, we saw how it was pushed out across the media, they were using people's racism. So for me, I feel like there's something higher up, the elite know that we're told our vote. I don't think
But
I
the
really don't
elite-
think it's that
the elite-
deep.
And
I think it is.
also like
think it's
sometimes I might agree with you, but like in the Brexit thing, that really is not true. Because like the government and the elite don't want Brexit to happen. Like this is only because the people wanted it. Like,
But you have to remember the papers.
No,
the papers aren't owned by the government. The papers are owned by a few elite people.
Yeah.
And then their own political views, like Richard Desmond, for example. Oh shit, I might be saying names.
That's should get beeped out.
So certain people who own papers, yeah, it's their political opinions that go through. I know one guy who owned a certain paper that I'm not going to disclose on video because I don't want CIA to come after me. I don't think he owns them anymore, but still, he gave UKIP like 10 mil, donated 10 mil to UKIP during that campaign. Every story in that paper was North Africans, Syrians, this, that, the other. So as a result of that, what do you think's gonna happen when the masses who don't read into things, they're all gonna vote leave?
Yeah, but you're only ever gonna vote if that's how you think. So
Yeah,
so that type of media caters to one type of crowd. You're not picking up that newspaper, looking at these migrants and caring. It's not targeted for you. Bro. So either way, those people think that way.
To be honest,
it's
yeah,
like-
even if you feel like it's all a scam or whatever, I feel like you should vote anyway, in the chance that it's not a scam and your vote actually does matter. Because
But when you voted, did you even know the ins and outs of Brexit?
I didn't, but
Why did you vote?
No,
So
I looked
listen,
at it from.
You're waiting to vote. If you haven't looked at the ins and outs,
No. I looked
no
at
one's
it.
gonna
The thing is,
look
I
at
looked
that.
at it for me personally. For me personally, it seemed more like it would be better for us to remain in the EU. For me, right now, that's why I voted. Do you know what I mean? I didn't look at it like if the country's gonna be better or whatever. I said, okay, for me, it looks better if we remain. Like, do you know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
Corey. So what about you? In terms of the Brexit,
I voted to stay.
So you voted to stay, but do you care? What do you know of how that's going to impact us in the future? Apart from you not being able to use your EU health card. He's just like,
That's
he gets home with that.
a problem. But then the whole thing, like, I think for our generation, the main thing is being able to travel freely and then get those benefits over there. But before that, I mean, I've been traveling before we were a part of the European Union. Before that, you go, you get your.
in the EU for a while, man. I was going for a long time, man.
Oh yeah, my bad.
That's it.
I showed my head. Leave.
Black don't crack.
Black.
Black. My man's 100.
Yes.
But today's episode of Black
I'm
don't crack.
105. Okay, people.
Wow.
105. Anyway, but yeah, like, what would you do? You just go get a visa.
No,
Yeah,
but,
but visas
no, but
becomes
Brexit.
a process,
People are
it's
making it
expensive.
seem like Brexit is just about
These
whether
ain't
you
that
can
expensive.
travel around countries. Like,
No, it's an
it's a
expensive.
lot
Talk
more.
about it soon.
It's a lot. Yeah, like
Still,
first of
it
all, the
gets
market.
everything.
Second of all, like human rights and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
no,
Isn't a UK
that's another
thing.
thing.
It's the EU who did it. So, for example, like the UK wants to like snoop a shot at us, so they wanna see what you're searching, what you're looking into.
Yeah.
The EU have laws against that, whereas when they leave the EU, the UK government can do whatever they want,
That was-
as they please, without any like prosecution from the EU. Like it's a
Yeah,
lot more than
allegations,
just being. But like this is my problem with people in our generation is like they don't take the like they'd rather look at like what Kim Kardashian. I know this is like a cliche thing to say. Like I'm not. I don't think I'm woke myself. But like people would rather look into like Kim Kardashian's life rather than spending 10 minutes just to look into like what Brexit's actually all about.
But the thing is, you're saying
should
look,
get Kim
you're saying
to
look
talk
into
about
Brexit,
Brexit.
yeah, but like there's no way you can get an unbiased opinion. That's the problem. So that's
Yeah.
why sometimes you have to just look at it for
me.
For you, that's what I'm saying. So everyone's given their reason,
Exactly,
and
because-
everyone's given a different reason.
Because it's like,
And
okay,
that's
I can
why
look
you
in the
vote.
newspaper.
You don't need to vote for one thing.
That's what I'm saying, because I can look in the newspaper is going to tell me, okay, if we leave the EU, 300 million is going to go to the NHS. Well, apparently that's not true anymore. So it's like, so I voted for the NHS basically, and it's not even, so I've been bumped. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But also I read something about like how if we leave the EU, I think the EU has like certain like food laws.
Yeah,
And like,
there's a lot of laws.
Hundreds, man.
yeah, so like if the UK leave the EU, the kind of qualities of the food that people will be able to produce will be a lot lower, and like so will be
Maybe like America.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
no,
So
with,
like,
with,
you know
food,
what's
with
nuts?
food, with food, like there was a problem with the EU because like they had control over everything. Like your cucumbers had to be like a certain, like it couldn't be too curvy or something stupid like that.
Yeah, but
so, like,
how does that affect you?
nah, exactly. So that's why people were like the EU regulate too much.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. But if you actually look into what they're regulating, like it's not that deep. It's like the length of the cucumbers you
Yeah,
get in the
exactly.
supermarket. Like who cares? Like,
Yeah.
these things.
But you not think because
The whole Brexit
if
thing. I'm saying though, the whole Brexit thing was powerful just racism.
Of
It's
course
just
it was.
plain and
We
simple.
know that.
Like
Xenophobia.
most things in this world is just powered by tribalism and race. That's all everything.
But how is that?
ever boils down to?
How do you think, for example, that's going to affect us long term? Because like Ryan said, it's not just in terms of free, like traveling freely. It's in terms of things like healthcare, food, education, housing, things like that. How do you think it's going to affect us?
My
long term?
personal view, I mean, their experts are giving their hot takes on it, but I just feel like it's going to take a while to regulate itself, but they would have to regulate it at some point because then there'll just be anarchy in the streets.
But do you think they can regulate it to a state where people will be happy? Do you think people will always going to be complaining?
Bro, I don't have a crystal ball. Like, honestly,
Economically would be worse.
these people don't know what they're doing. Like, You got politicians who used to be journalists now handling these fucking mad trade deals.
Raw.
What expertise do these people have?
So we have hope.
Bro, look at Donald Trump.
Look at how
From the time Donald Trump is president,
Exactly.
like, that just tells us, as a human race, even though we didn't even have a say, we're finished.
No, but people laugh at Donald Trump, but he's actually no much worse than a lot of the politicians we have already. Like, so if you look at how the cabinet works at the moment, like they shuffle them around. So like you have one person, one year he's health minister, the next year is education.
Yeah.
Like these people have no expertise. in
That's
that
like Boris
at all,
Johnson.
and
I say that guy
they
went
just
from
moved
like-
around. So it is like one of you lot said it's like a game, and it's so true. Like it's just whoever like can it's like whoever can like have the best career. Like I did this and this, and they don't care about anything.
That's really why you get into politics. I think
it's
most
so
people
nice.
that get into politics.
It's all
just
about,
like, it's
put it
ego.
on.
It's all ego.
Yeah,
That's
and
why
you
a
know
lot
how
of
much they
men
get paid
into
when they
it.
leave? Like people like Clinton and stuff like that, after they leave the presidency, they get paid a crap. Like Tony Blair, for example, he would get paid like 100 bags per speech.
Yeah.
He'd come make a speech, he'd get paid
speeches,
100 bags for about half an hour of his time.
You mentioned you were saying about something about nuts a second ago. You about to say something? Just before writing. No?
He'll come back to me.
Not to clear out nuts.
What do you
Yeah.
guys,
That's
what
it,
do you
that's
guys think about people who complain about immigrants coming over?
What do I think about
that?
them?
She's stupid. Because
They're ignorant.
the thing is, like,
That's
this
what-
country is literally, like, the
built on
foundation of this
immigrants.
country is immigration, is immigrants. So it's like, it doesn't make sense for you to have a problem. And the thing is, they say like, oh, these immigrants that can't speak English are taking our jobs, yeah.
The jobs that want.
You jobs you didn't even want.
You didn't want them.
You didn't want the job.
They were
Exactly.
they were
Jobs were
hiring.
there, you didn't want them. So someone has come from another country and taken that job
That you didn't want.
that you didn't want in the first place. So where
Shows how
does the problem
incompetent
come?
But okay, to play devil's advocate, can you see where they're coming from though?
No.
Understand this.
I can.
Like as far as like, I feel like the way things have changed in this country in the last 20 years has been so rapid for a lot of people. So I've worked with these type of people that, you know, UKIP supporters and all of this jazz. Their parents left school, got trade jobs, stayed in those trade jobs, got a decent semi-detached house somewhere in Essex or wherever.
Yeah.
They thinking, oh, I can do that in this day and age. I can leave school, I can not go to college, I could get a builder's job,
But
and earn money. And a lot of these people have been disillusioned. All those traditional trade jobs that their parents have been talking about, grandparents have been talking about, don't exist. But instead of like kind of moving with the times, they stayed stuck. Like if you look at statistics, right, like white working class boys are failing behind everybody in school. Because they're told from young, don't take this shit serious.
Yeah.
I know after school, when I was a kid, first thing I had to do was read my book. You know what I'm saying? And that's like with most African kids and most Caribbean kids.
Most ethnic kids.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Because I feel like
we live in a world where book smarts is a bit more respected. It's easier for you to get jobs.
I feel like all the trade jobs and stuff, they're still there, but they've evolved
They've
from
evolved.
what they used to be. So
Exactly. They're not just some simple ass.
So the
job.
You have to
pathway,
be book smart.
the pathway that granddad and uncle and that
It's a myth.
went through
But
to
there is,
make all that money and build that house. The pathway is totally different for you now, but you're still thinking.
But then they just blame
oh,
on they blame on immigrants.
no, but
because-
the problem, no,
that's
but
the easy way out.
sort of understanding where they're coming from. The problem with trade jobs as well is like also there's a lot of like I don't think fraud's the right word, but like a lot of wage.
Yeah.
So like for example, there's a minimum amount you're meant to pay someone, and because when immigrants come in, like because a lot of the money actually goes back to where they come from, and that money is worth a lot more because you have more purchasing power. Like they're happy to take half the wage, like being paid like £6 an hour or something for construction. Like as people like us, we're not going to be happy getting £6 an hour, are we? Whereas they will be. So like that's a problem with because if you're an employer, who are you going to choose to pay someone £6 an hour or to pay someone £20 an hour?
probably if you're an employer, you're looking
That's
at
illegal,
margin.
but people do
Looking
it.
at margin if you're an employer, so you're going to be trying to get a cheaper person.
And so obviously like the employer, like they're never going to be able to do anything about the employer, so that they turn their attention to. Another thing that I understand as well is like you have to sort of realize where these people are from as well. Like imagine if you're born in Cornwall, you've probably like never met an ethnic person in your life. Like you're going to be ignorant.
Yeah.
Like
You don't have to.
that's no excuse. There's TV.
That's what I'm saying.
but if you go to someone and say you're a stupid bigot, like you're gonna make them defensive straight away, and like that's why they're called the silent majority, because like it's the same in Trump. Like why Trump won is because a lot of people were angry because they were kept on being called stupid, and like at the end of the day, if you're born in Texas and you've never met a black person in your life, you're gonna be a bigot and ignorant. And like if you had racist parents who you were brought up with, obviously you're gonna have racist like tendencies until that person meets another person of color or another person.
I don't even think that's the case though as well.
You can still
because some of these people have bare like they'll have bare like ethnic whatever friends, or they're still racist though, and then they'll throw that.
But that's like entrenched in their upbringing. So to them, they might not be racist, but it's like racist behaviors that they've grown.
And you won't change their mind back on the Brexit. That's why I think we lost. The Remain campaign lost in Brexit because a lot of the money and media went on to calling people racist and these people are doing this just to be racist about immigrants, but they never told us why you should want to stay. Like it was always just about race, and there was so much more to that. And like if you look at a lot of experts, that's actually like they analyze the campaign, and that's why they say like hardly any like airtime was put on like this is why we should stay. And
but you have to understand this is the people who own the companies, and this is why.
No, but the people who own the BBC were making fun of Nigel Farage. Like the news outlets hate Trump. They hate Trump, and he still won.
People have
they should hate Trump though. Like there was justifiable reason.
There was justifiable. It was obviously he's an idiot, but the news. But this is what I'm saying is the news outlets still put bad media about Trump, and he still won. So surely
I've heard that line. I've heard that reasoning, and I think that just takes accountability away from racists. They're racist, plain and simple, or they're ignorant at least.
Yeah,
because it's like
let's just call. But why not just call? Why should you get blamed for calling a spade a spade?
No, but how do we get? Because what you want is for sure. You know what? You don't want to ignore it. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you want to look towards a positive outcome, which is getting someone who was ignorant and helping them realize that things aren't the way they are.
You're choosing to be ignorant in the age of the internet. There is nothing that anyone can do. There's no discussion to be had.
No, but even then, so that's another thing about social media. It's an echo chamber. Like, Facebook shows you only things that you want to see. They don't show you different stuff. So if you were brought up as a racist, and it's just going to show you stuff from Donald Trump, and because that's the thing that you were brought up with, agreeing with, that's the stuff that you like. Yeah. So Facebook is going to show you more of that stuff that you like. They're not going to show you something that you disagree with.
But you can go find stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but
you have to want to see something different.
You have to want to. So
and if you don't want to,
you can't guilt someone or tell someone, look, you have to think this way because they don't want to.
But
that's exactly like they don't want
you in your comfort zone. You're not gonna think of anything else.
But people don't think of anything else.
Exactly. So how are you gonna get someone to see a different point of view?
I don't think you can.
Bro, you say you're in my head right now. I don't see the point. I don't even see the point of debate shows.
Alright, so it's like if we think
that came on a debate show.
This ain't a debate show.
I'm talking I know what you're talking about when they have
question time and stuff like that, or when you have politicians from different sides.
So it's like if we give up now in saying there's no point in trying to educate someone on the different views.
What for?
Then that's an issue though.
Then
that means we can't move forward.
That means there's no growth in moving forward.
Post Brexit, we've seen a lot more people saying it with their chest. We've been seeing a lot more people being, I was going to say ignorant, because people don't like being called racist. We've seen it a lot more.
Well, they have black friends.
As soon as the hammer came down, it was like, we're leaving the EU. Yeah. I think the same weekend, people were out here trying to Eastern Europeans, for example.
No, but those aren't people you're trying to convince. You're trying to convince people that are on the fence and just not genuinely ignorant. Like, if you're like literally outstanding racist, like that's not. I don't really have the time to try and change that person's opinion. Yeah. But if you have someone in Coventry that's never met a person with an ethnic background and they just don't have the information or knowledge. Obviously, I would rather, instead of just outright just call him a racist straight away, I would just try and educate him. Because then you have another person on your side to back you, and that's.
But if that person from Norwich is leaning towards rhetoric that can be deemed to be racist, right? Like, why then that's exactly where they want to go to. Leave them to do it. I think life is the best teacher. So he'll say the word that shouldn't be said to the wrong person.
Bang to the face.
I disagree.
And the racism will just.
I disagree in the sense that.
Or he falls in love with someone from a different race. Who knows? Like, life is I think it's the best.
But I disagree in the sense that that's the direction he wants to go.
Okay.
If, for example, what's put in front of you has said, all right, turn right. and you've turned right and stumbled across the rhetoric that puts you in a racist category, that's where you stumbled upon. Do you know what I mean? If you don't know anything different, you're gonna keep going right. Unless someone says, oh, well, why don't you think about this?
But why is it gonna take someone else to say something? We're all our own people.
No, but I'm saying
We are
it's
all
like,
our own people, but not everyone's got that mental capacity to say, hey, you know what? No,
You have
there
to be a
must
bit
be
of a
something
rebel.
different. If there's this way, then there must be that
I
way.
hear that, but at the same time, obviously, we're already like in the middle of going through the whole Brexit negotiation.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
What's gonna happen now? Does anyone?
Who knows?
Because I know none of us really
So
know what's
what will happen is if it goes through.
Well, it's already gone through, hasn't it?
No,
it's not
because they still have to reach a deal.
Agreement.
A
there's
deal.
no agreement.
All we know,
So they have a minister.
And apparently Theresa May's not like.
all we know
doing it
is
well.
Brexit is gonna happen. When it happens or how, we don't know.
Depending on the deal.
It's going to happen.
So they're basically
So I'm
working
trying to
out
go
like
with
that. They're
what
just
does
working
that
out the details of like any. So like for example, the movement, like how can people move in it? That will be like in the deal.
Yeah.
And so once it goes through, if it's bad, like bank HQs will start moving out. Canary Wharf will start.
Yeah,
moving
that's
a lot
what
more
people
empty.
say.
Like the pound will devalue.
To Scotland.
So on the back of this, we've got people potentially losing jobs.
Yeah.
We've got the pound going down in value.
Yeah.
The last I heard, well, the last I read, they were trying to do a deal where all the Europeans that are in the UK now
Can stay.
can stay.
But I feel like we need movement. It's not about staying.
If the trade stuff that starts happening and the pound devalues, things are going to be really.
People won't even want
Inflation
to
will
do
go up
that.
in this country. House
Yeah.
prices will drop. No one will be able to afford anything. It's gonna be a bit nuts. And obviously, I'm not someone who would say I know a lot about Brexit. I probably know as much as the next guy. It's just a very, very sticky place.
It is,
to be.
it is.
But so why then? Why did people choose to not to focus on that? People chose to focus on, oh, look at these stupid racists. Let's laugh at them.
Because
Like, why?
they understood.
Because that's the point they went on. They went on the whole like. The thing is, yeah, I feel like Remain was almost like because it's the levers that
Remain
pushed
was
the
going to fail.
referendum.
Remember,
do you know what I mean?
London voted to remain. Everywhere outside London voted to leave.
Yeah, but that's always gonna happen because there's more like.
When you look at the map and the polls came in and they counted it up, London was the Remain bit of the UK.
Yeah, all
Everywhere
the
else,
major
London
cities.
and was it
Major cities like
Ireland or
Birmingham,
Scotland?
Manchester, like all the big cities, basically
Because they know
with
about
ethnic minorities, people
Yeah.
who mingle with people from different races, chose to remain because they just know it's not that deep.
So that's my point then.
But no,
If mingle
I
with them.
understood your
But
point.
yeah.
But my point being is we live in 2018, not like 1800s. There's trains, there's cars, there's ways for you to get out of your little hamlet in Cornwall. You don't want to. I've been to Cornwall.
it's true.
I've been to Cornwall when I was
It's all
young,
choice.
and like one of the things that always rattles in my brain was just it was us. Like it was like a youth group. We went down into the town centre somewhere in Cornwall, and all I heard was, "Oh, Africa's come to town." Some old white man sitting on a chair.
Kind of like that thing on Ryanair the other day.
Yeah, so it's like they choose to be that way. So why are you wasting your breath and your time trying
I
to
agree with
convince
you.
them?
Those kind of
some,
people.
some
you
of them
shouldn't.
people you
I get,
can't.
like-
But there's some people who are just like soft racists. Because I feel like someone saying,
Well,
Blood, what?
racist
No, I
Monday,
know what you
Wednesday,
mean.
and Friday.
I'm saying, no, I'm saying is in like my point is in like
9 to 5 racists.
no, I'm saying is in like okay, they're
I think I understand what you mean.
like
I hear what you're saying, but
I don't.
there's some people there's some people
What's
like
a soft racist?
What's that? They chat to you like they're all cool with you, and then they'll make a silly remark.
no, not even that. Like I feel
They
like
say
there's some
nigger
people who
instead
don't
of
even
nigger. Like, what
you won't
makes
even
us
like,
soft racist?
or they won't even realize what they're saying or what their behaviours
It's
are.
ignorant.
racist.
No,
That's ignorant.
that's nonsense. You can't.
No, I don't think it's about
You
ignorance.
can't not realize.
You can't
like-
say that about anything else. You
No,
can't
it's
be
not
like a
because it's
soft
like
murderer.
imagine you
a soft gangbang.
imagine you've grown up, yeah, like and like it's even sometimes you see when you see babies and like they'll be calm with white people, they see a black person and they're scared.
Nah,
A
bro.
baby's not brought up. A baby doesn't even know what racism is yet.
You know
Like, it's
what?
something different. It's something different. It's like whoa, like this is a bit. Do you know what I mean? That's why there's a thing. And I feel like if you've been brought up your whole life, you haven't really seen like black people, whatever, blah blah. There's no one really to like to tell you or
I
show
love this
you
definition.
like what the world is really.
Then
Like.
that's just a racist.
So what you're referring to is someone's ignorant.
I don't
No, but I don't think they.
Yeah.
I don't like. Oh, I don't
I
know.
think, you're thinking in the same way as Bomi. It's just where you're looking at it from. You know, like when you watch the news, whatever you receive from the news
You just take it.
you just
take it as face
fact.
value.
Yeah.
So are those people?
You're a sheep.
Wait. So wait. So I'm getting what you're saying, but it's more in terms of people will choose to continue to be ignorant based on the information that is given to them. So if you only watch CNN, you only trust what CNN says, you're going to have a CNN view of the world.
Yeah.
So that's, I think, what you mean by a soft racist, where you're just trusting.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You're not even because at the end of the day, at the end of the day, listen. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, a news channel should be like unbiased. That's what we. It's only when you get older you realise that that's not how it works. But when you used to watch BBC when you were younger, you thought, oh, this is literally fact. This is not someone's opinion.
It's fact to an extent, but you have to remember these are like media companies. They
No, that's what I'm saying. But when you're young,
agenda.
no, but my point is when you're younger, you don't.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
you have to.
It's only when you get older and you realise.
It's not
everyone has an
necessarily
agenda.
like these news places are like they're lying about what they're reporting. It's just reporting one side.
It's such a way.
One side. But they're not lying. They are still giving you facts. But
So I think we should wrap. So last point about Brexit from everyone. Ryan, what's your take? How do you feel for what's coming?
I just feel like I completely disagree with what Josh says about not voting. But this is why, like.
Hold on, no.
Okay.
I didn't say they should vote. I said I personally.
No,
my own opinion.
don't.
Yeah, but okay, so
Sit
you
down.
say don't follow.
What's your personal opinion?
Like, okay, like I agree there's quite a few racists in England, but the only way we can get around that and actually, without even having to make them agree with us, is outvote them. And currently I think we would have enough people to outvote them, to be honest.
I agree.
So go to the voting booths and vote. And
Even
if we did, we wouldn't have this problem.
Even like during the elections, I fully like if you were on Twitter and you actually started to believe Labour were gonna win. Like it was mad because of obviously the people you follow.
I voted for that. I voted in the elections. And what happened? It still lost.
No, but there was progress.
That's more down to the system that we use in the UK. That's past the polls.
Okay, so if it's
because the thing is,
that's the case, then that's the same thing with Brexit, right?
No.
But look at the stats and you'll
Brexit was like whoever votes more.
Look at the stats and you still see that demographic-wise, young people aren't voting as much as they should to. People
No,
from
it's
an
politics.
ethnic background, but you should still vote. I personally believe that there's no fraud going on. I just feel like people are just not voting, and people with that mentality especially don't vote. So vote. That's all I have to say to close up.
Corey?
Huh? I don't know what to expect. It's weird because when you read the papers and stuff, I feel it's kind of vague in terms of what to expect post Brexit, and if the people running the country have no idea what they're gonna put forward for us living in the country, who knows? But it's one of those things you just got to kind of roll with the punches. So you see what comes out, and then you see, okay, how can I turn this into my
Nigeria.
That's what I'm doing. I might have to go through immigration down there, you know.
I'll hook you up. I know a couple guys.
You know a couple guys. Alright, cool.
I just think, like I said, like I think this whole thing is a game that's being played like above our heads. Even like I remember reading something about how this guy literally just bought like lots of lots of dollars with pounds before Brexit. So when it dropped, and he just overnight he made like 400 million or something like that.
I'm saying.
So imagine that, like, come on, man, that's big money. So that guy obviously he probably has power somewhere. So he's made sure that
people had something
it's
to gain
happening
from it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's made sure that Brexit happened because if it didn't, he's lost money. So it's like I don't know, man. I just think this whole thing's a game, but I reckon at the end of the day we'll be alright. Like I feel like things will get bad, but they'll have to get better. That's like how life works, really.
Yeah.
So
We're getting
because another thing is as well, like I swear the EU were trying to get the England to change to the pound anyway. To the euro, sorry. Anyway,
It's not gonna happen now, is it?
yeah, by 2020 or something. So that would have been an issue.
No, they had tried before. Like that was
We've been trying for years.
No, but I'm saying I said they said like final. 2020.
No.
Alright, I don't know, innit? Just
Last point week.
Brexit doesn't mean Brexit. Innit?
I think it's peak. But it might not. It'll be less peak. That's my